What is up, guys? Welcome back in today's video. Pretty interesting and pretty beautiful day, actually. What the hell is this? Uh, Everything went according to my plans, and that was so beautiful to see, actually. Uh, I don't know. Yesterday's price action, I lost yesterday, and yeah, it was kind of like bittersweet because I expected something else. But it doesn't really matter what you expect. So it's just part of the game to lose. Also, you need to learn how to lose as well. Yesterday was completely valid loss. I was following my plan, my strategy. Everything was there. I took, I executed, and that's what you have to do basically all the time, every single day. If you see your setup, if you see your strategy is forming there, like not you have a strategy, but you need to have the setup for your strategy to happen or to be presented by price action. And if it's there, you need to take it. That's the number one rule. If you are following your strategy 100%, and every confluence, everything in your setup is there, it's just how you have to do it. You have to execute. And with a proven backtesting record, you will end up being profitable if you're following your plan, following your risk management, and just keep up with your own psychology as well. As simple as that. Yesterday, wallet loss, completely fine with it. Today, basically, since yesterday, this 4 hour time, 4 hour time frame, basically, the 4 hour time frame, bullish for value gap got disrespected yesterday, and also this 1 hour for value gap, or not 1 hour, but here there is another 4 hour for value gap as well. But yesterday, I highlighted this as a 1 hour for value gap. Doesn't really make any difference. Both of them got disrespected yesterday by these two candles. So we assume, or we could have assumed that we are changing the order flow from bullish to bearish because two major fair value gaps got disrespected. Basically, in one session, yesterday's New York session was just dumping the hell out of it. Um, and I was expecting, obviously, bearish order flow today. Um, I removed the markings. I'm just gonna put it back in a sec, but I just wanted to clarify. So most of you, or some people, actually, I'm really glad that you reach out to me during the day or after each video I post, or any stories I make on Instagram or stuff like that. You do text me, and ask questions regarding my videos, or regarding my strategy, or how do I look at the charts usually, and stuff like that. uh, I always try to briefly explain why I'm doing what I'm doing, and all this stuff. But obviously, that's why I'm making these videos. So reach out to me every single time if you are, like, curious about something, or you have questions, or and stuff like that. But usually those questions get answered on like in these videos. So I talk a lot, I explain everything I do. Sorry, I'm still sick a little bit. I'm getting better, but yeah, I'm still a shitty. I don't know what is it, cold, or I don't know, whatever. So yeah, but most of the things I explain in the videos. So please do watch the videos. I know if like, you are like, I don't know, you have a question, or you're curious about something, you can ask the question, oh, how am I supposed to select the right video to get the answer I'm looking for? Obviously, that's true, but these videos are like half an hour long, and I think in every video, if you can ask, even though the comment section is not so active yet, but just please feel free to use it, because you can share some experience between each other, and obviously with me as well, to how should I improve, or should I explain something else also, or more or less, or maybe I talk way more than I should, like, or I supposed to. That's completely fine. I'm not gonna say that anything you write I'm gonna change it right away, but I take it into consideration, obviously, because I'm making these videos for myself as well, but for you guys also. And if you find something that I can, reshape it a little bit or something, like restructure the videos, please do share your ideas or observations and stuff like that. But you know everything about my strategy, everything about my psychology, or everything that even the mental state that I'm in during the trades, I share everything during these type of videos. So just please do check them. Free value, really free value. I experience everything on my own skin, and I'm just sharing it with you right after I finish the trade. Even if it's a lose or a win, doesn't matter. I promise myself and to higher powers also that I'm gonna make these videos no matter what. If it's a lose or if it's a win, doesn't matter. Actually, I'm even sometimes more happy to. It's kind of stupid, sound real stupid, but sometimes I'm kind of like, okay, I took a loss yesterday, for example, and I was like, you know even though you are adult and another child, and I was not expecting to make only winning trades on YouTube and share it with the world, and it just chasing clout and stuff like that. But sometimes in this deep voice in your head, just silence is speaking to yourself that, oh my god, you took a loss, it's so embarrassing to share it online, and all these things. And I just realized after a couple of days, actually I started this channel around like what, 2 weeks, that when I'm making a mistake or I took a loss, for example, like yesterday, you know, I learn a lot from that, and I'm not learning that much. I'm not saying that I'm not learning at all from the winning trades. Obviously, I do, because I journal it and I know what you know everything. So everything you can learn from, also from the winning trades as well. I'm not saying that, but when you make a mistake and you take a loss because of that mistake, or you just take a loss even though you were following your rules and everything was according to your plan and strategy. But sometimes, of course, it happens because it's not 100% win rate, as I'm telling you all the time. But as I'm explaining the loss, as I'm explaining my mistakes that I made, I'm just, everything just goes so clear, and I do realize my mistakes and why did I do those kind of mistakes. And if I didn't do any kind of mistake, I mean, I'm not perfect. That's not what I'm saying, but like, for example, if you have like five rules in your strategy, or five rules before you enter a trade, and you need to follow those 5 points or 5 steps, and if you miss one, or you don't have the fourth one or the fifth one, you are not entering the trade. And what if it's like, when you're keeping all your rules 5/5, uh, that's the real magic. That's where the real magic happens, because you followed your rules, but you still lost the trade. And you will see other patterns, other things behind the curtain, other movements, other signs, and maybe even a PD array, or something like that you have missed. And it's like human error in this game. It's human error completely, that you miss something, and you cannot blame anything else, only you yourself, basically. So sorry, I always talk too much. I know I talk too much. I'll get to the point, I promise. So yesterday we inversed this 4 hour and this 4 hour, basically, but we marked it out as a 1 hour fair value gap on the 1 hour time frame. So we disrespected and inversed two major fair value gaps yesterday. So, and basically today, not yesterday, but today, it doesn't matter today anyway. So we inverse these fair value gaps, and it was a really strong sign for a reversal, or change in the trend. So from bullish, we are changing the trend, obviously visible, to bearish. I'm not sure if it's just a big move to the downside and it will be just a big sweep, and maybe fill this 4 hour gap here and then just continue the bullish movement. We don't know yet. It's not your job to know it. It's not anyone else's job to know it. Maybe the long-term traders know it. I'm not sure. I don't care where price is going to go in the next couple of days or week, because I'm trading intraday. So I'm just focusing on what's happening, or what has happened in the past 2 days, or what's going to happen in the next 2 days. Anyways, so we had this nice aggressive move to the downside, and we had this big ass 4 hour Farewell gap, which I'm just gonna put all my markings back. I guess I switch on the 30-minute time frame, and I'm just gonna put the markings back just like this. So yeah, this is this. Maybe it's just more clear like that. So we were here. This is the 4 hour bearish Farewell gap, which I was talking about earlier. So I highlighted in green here. I'm just gonna switch on the. So this is the one. So this is the 30. Maybe I can even the 15th. So I don't need to switch that much. So yeah, so basically what has happened today was what? It's the 15-minute time frame. So this was basically no, sorry. La, 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 la. 23rd? Is it 23rd? What the fuck? Oh yeah, here we go. So we started to, yesterday's dump, we started to, move back to the upside to rebalance this big ass movement from yesterday, obviously. And by the time we created this 4 hour Ferval gap, which I showed you before, so this is the one highlighted in green. So price started to move back to this area to rebalance price action from yesterday. So basically rebalance equilibrium, go back to premium a little bit more, and before we dump again to the downside. I was waiting for, uh, you know, last switch, because that's gonna be the one, because I'm not gonna switch anything else here. So as we were retracing back to this 4 hour Farewell gap after yesterday's dump, we stayed inside this Farewell gap basically the whole day. As you can see, Asia session was here at 8. We created Asian session low right away, and we just started to move constantly back to the 4 hour unmitigated Farewell gap to the upside. A higher time frame Farewell gap mitigation has happened during all day, basically. As you can see, Asian session opened. We created the low of the day, basically, if we count it like that. And we started to move inside this 4 hour Farewell gap, where nothing really major things has happened. I was expecting, because here you can see this is market open today at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So before that, pre-market, also pre-market and also London session were accumulating only. So that was just only accumulation. And upon market open, I was constantly also obviously monitoring ES as well, and I was waiting for price to sweep out at least London lows, or not at least, because that was the only target. I was looking for ES at least. Sorry, that's how I wanted to phrase it. So I was waiting for ES, because ES was making a higher high. ES was somewhere around here in price, and NQ was making a lower high. Uh, and because of that, I was expecting that ES is going to sweep out London session highs here. It was the exact same spot almost. I was expecting ES to sweep out London session highs, and then just, go back to the downside, or break the structure to the downside, while I was expecting NQ to be weaker, obviously. And while ES is sweeping out London session highs, NQ doesn't have to, so we can move to the downside freely, because you know that buy side liquidity has been swept by ES, and these two assets are correlated. So if ES sweeps out these highs, NQ doesn't necessarily have to sweep those highs as well. It can happen, and it will happen, and it sometimes happen, but most of the cases, if some sweeps out something, the other one doesn't have to sweep it out, because it has the movement already in, like, it's done already. But ES didn't sweep out London session highs as I was expecting, but ES was making these, blah, 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 these accumulation movements. It's like side movement. So it was not sweeping London session highs as I was expecting, while NQ was already making these low movements. But up on market open, what NQ did was NQ swept these 1 hour, like maybe I switch it like this. No shit. So this is the 8 hourly candle. So we swept out that old highs up on market open, and I was like, okay, ES is here, but ES didn't sweep out London session highs. What we did though is NQ was sweeping these hourly candle high and then started to aggressively moving to the downside. uh, I was highlighting this, or I highlighted this 15-minute Furvel gap here on the left hand side, and I was expecting price up on market open, either ES or either NQ, to sweep out London session highs, or at least this 1 hour candle high, this old high. I was waiting for this to be swept out, either on no ES, because ES was higher than this. I was waiting for the London session high sweep on ES. But on NQ, I was like, okay, that's fine if we just sweep out these highs as well. That will be enough to, as a catalyst to move to the downside. Uh, that what's happened basically. So we swept out these hourly highs, and we started to move aggressively to the downside. And I'm just gonna switch on the 1 minute. Shit. Ooh. So yeah, what has happened? I just turn this on because I know you are satisfied with it, and maybe it's easier for me. I just stick with the two minute actually, because it's just way too many candles. Because obviously, even though it was a textbook setup, obviously after this choppiness a little bit in the beginning, after I entered the trade, it was like it started to like chopping around like yesterday, and I was like, this is gonna stop me on for sure, like yesterday. But I was like, this is not like yesterday. So in this setup, I'm not saying 100% sure, but I had a gut feeling that I need to play this movement because this is the one I was looking for, and this is so clean. I shouldn't miss it. So I mean, not shouldn't miss it, but I shouldn't waste my time thinking about should I enter or not. That's what I meant. So after this sweep, ES was only making these side movements. NQ, even though I mean not even though, sorry. So NQ swept out these hourly high candle and started to aggressively break to the downside. Uh, we did inverse this 15-minute Furvel gap, but we were still inside this 4 hour Furvel gap as well. So I was like, I'm not gonna. Maybe on the 1 minute we are even a little bit lower, because as you can see, I didn't enter on this candle. I did enter on this candle, but I'm just for the sake of clarity, I just switch down to the 1 minute here. So yeah, as I said, here I was even waiting even longer a little bit. Uh, so we had this sweep, 1 hour candle sweep. We inverse this 15-minute Furvel gap. Oh my god, I'm just looking in the screen like I almost the same entity as the screen. So me and the screen is the same thing, because we became so close. Anyway, sorry about that. So yeah, we inverse this 15-minute Furvel gap. We did inverse the 4 hour Furvel gap as well. We had a nice sweep. We had the break of structure. We had a Furvel gap as well left behind. It's a nice indication if we break the structure, inverse something, or we are waiting for some kind of confluence or confirmation for that we are gonna reverse the trend and stuff like that. This is a really good sign if you have like a big volumish breaking candles, not like these tiny shitty wickful things. Just that's the most beautiful thing that can happen with you if you're looking for like a reversal or a continuation. that your confluence is getting confirmed by a volume full candle, like big volume full candles. I'm not sure that this word exists, but we gonna, you know, introduce this word from now on. So this is gonna be our word. So volume full. Remember that. Joking. So as you can see, I was waiting for this candle, that candle, but it was not enough for me. So I was waiting for this candle to close, and I entered on this candle after price finally inversed the 15-minute fair value gap. We inversed the 4-hour fair value gap. We had a nice sweep of liquidity, even though not the one that we were looking for, the London session highs, but this 1 hour, there is an old high, there is an old high. We were lower than that, and after market open, we swept out these highs, we swept out these highs, we mitigated this fair value gap. I'm sure on the 2, 3, 5 minute, there is even another fair value gap here, as you can see here. This one, we hit the order block as well, and we shifted the market structure to the downside, basically inversing not just one but two major fair value gaps: one 4 hour, which is really important, and one 15-minute, which is super enough confirmation for me to enter the trade with my setup, with my strategy, if the other confluences are there, and if the context of price action is bearish, basically. So if we are bullish and I have this setup, probably I'm not gonna enter in a short trade, because even though we had a sweep and the break of structure to the downside, most probably we were just manipulating to the downside and continue the trend to the upside if we are in a bullish order flow. But since yesterday two major fair value gaps got inversed and we changed the trend, from bullish to bearish. Obviously, I was only looking for short setups, short trades. As you can see, I entered on this candle closure right after when we inversed the 15 and the 4 hour for value gap. Even though we swept our London session low at the same time, I was confident enough to enter the trade because my bias was completely the continuation of the bearish trend from yesterday. Since yesterday we already inversed those fair value gaps, which I showed you in the beginning of the video. So I was expecting completely bearish movements. So I was confident enough that obviously we are not just inversing this 15 and 4 hour fair value gap just to take out London lows, and magically we are reversing and we are skyrocketing to the upside again, because that's what we did in the past 2 weeks, basically. But it's not the time. We change the trend. You need to shift your focus. You need to shift your thinking and adapt to price action and just react. Don't predict. Don't like, okay, but 2 days ago, blah blah blah. No, no. Just watch what is happening in front of your eyes. Do your markups and do your analysis before trading. I'm not saying that you just sit down 5 minutes before market open and you press buy or sell, and then basically you flip a coin and you can be profitable at the end of the day. No, you do your analysis, do your markups, do your charting, do everything, and then after that, it will just it will be super clean, visible, obvious that what price is going to most likely do, because we were still respecting this 4 hour fair value gap, and we disrespected two other bullish fair value gaps. So we are inside the bearish trend. We are respecting this 4 hour bearish fair value gap. We didn't inverse this 4 hour fair value gap. Sorry about that, because we were just respecting this 4 hour fair value gap. So we respected the bearish order flow. So we never went above, we never closed above. We completely respected the bearish order flow. What we did inverse, it was this 15-minute fair value gap. Even you can check it's just only the 15-minute fair value gap. So we did inverse that one. We also had a nice change in the state of delivery as well. We basically entered just above that a little bit. So, but I decided to go on break even after we hit Asian session highs. Sorry, Asian session. La, 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 la. So I decided to go on break even after we hit Asian session lows. As you can see, these were Asian session lows here with blue mark. Sorry. I went on break even. I went in the trade with two contracts. Even though this was a textbook save, yesterday's loss, I was playing it a little bit, not safe, but I'm preserving my capital. After a loss, I usually just readjusting myself. So I'm not like, okay, I took a trade yesterday, I took a loss yesterday, and I'm gonna full port today to bring it back. I'm already in profit, so I was not, I was not trying to over risk myself, especially from yesterday's losing trade. Oh my god, what has happened? What the heck, bro? Nice movement to the downside, as we were expecting. Beautiful. I love to see it. Honestly, that's the best feeling ever, that you have a strong confluence or strong bias or strong, expectation for today, and it's 100% playing out. That's And it's not flexing. It doesn't matter. Like, I could have, you know make $10 with this trade. I would be, the same. I will. It's the same happiness for me if I make a $10 trade or $1,000 trade. We made $1,078 on the day. Entered with two contracts. I took off one contract here, and I move my stop to break even at this point, because these were Asian session lows here. So that's like a major level in price where we can actually reverse and just go grab some buy side liquidity from here, from these old lows, or generated buy side liquidity, basically this accumulation here. Anyway, I moved my stop to break even, and I left the other contract floating towards this low here from yesterday, which has inverse the 1 hour for val gap and the 4 hour at the same time. So this was a big ass major low point here. Um, and it was obvious for me that we are going to take that out today. So that was my two targets. London session lows were basically not my target, because you know I was expecting to reverse or inverse this 15-minute for val gap, and maybe I could have entered a bit earlier if we close it like here, but it's not a target. It's just not a target. And if I enter here, basically my stop would have been like somewhere around here, but I just decided to put my stop at the top of the inverse for val gap, basically, because I assume there is no need for price to come back that high. Maybe we can mitigate this fair value gap here at 50%, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to risk more than that. It was a really nice trade, so I took off one position here, went on break even, and it kind of took a while, to be honest, because I think it was what, I think we can just check it here, right? This candle is 950. I think 950 or 9. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's 950 and 949. So yeah, I took half of my position, and I went on break even after around like what, 20 minutes into the trading day. And as you can see, from 950, let's say 950 because it's easier, we went to chop a little bit, uh, more than an hour basically. So let's say an hour. For an hour, we were like, only sideways, only accumulating short positions, obviously, because I hope none of you were looking for long trades after this, because what, to pick up this high, or to pick up London highs, we are not going to go that high and then reverse again when we are bearish. So don't look for long opportunities inside the bearish trend. Trend is your friend. That's a really good saying. Keep it, make a tattoo on your forehead, on stuff like that. Trend is your friend. Always follow it, always respect it, the higher time frame trend. If we are bearish in the higher time frame, we are going to be bearish on the lower time frame as well. So don't, I'm not saying that you cannot take in the opposing direction. That, sometimes I do as well, but you need to have like either a small movement, or a quick scalping, or just be on the safe side and always try and trade with the trend, not against it.